You're watching Minister's Material with Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa.
And the people with one accord gave heed unto two things. They gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, the teaching of the word or the preaching of the word. Okay? Hearing and also seeing the miracles which he did. Hearing the word of God and also seeing the confirmation of the word of God through miracles. And what sort of miracles in verse number 7 that Philip was performing? For unclean spirits. When you are dealing with unclean spirits, these are spirits that are not clean. Okay, let me. You might think I've forgotten. I know what I'm dealing with. Unclean spirits, these are spirits, simply spirits that are not clean. Okay? They deal with all levels of shabbiness. If you have people in your church, I'm not saying poor people, but I'm saying people that do not enjoy taking a bath. You still have unclean spirits in your ministry. Please, pastors, listen to me. You can't start in teaching that on that one unless you are free yourself from that. Listen, this is look at this. Please look at this. Unclean spirits. There are people. Have you seen that there are people? Now, if I preach now and I'm talking about change and I'm saying, I'm seeing people that are changed here, and they're just saying, yeah, they don't know what I'm talking about. If I tell you the ministry that we had before and the ministry that we have now, there was a time when you would want to pray for people, you'd want to prophesy, but you can't. You ask yourself questions like, how can somebody be smelling good like this at this hour of the day, early in the morning? This is maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. Where is sweat coming from? Listen to me, this has got nothing to do with poverty. It has got all to do with unclean spirits. Because there are places where you go, even in the villages, in the morning before people go for church service, they go to the river, they clean up themselves. You see them, you say, wow, in villages over there. So what are we talking about? So you have to watch out, pastors. You have to be very, very, very strict with yourself, especially if you analyze your members, if you want to really see change. No. You can't be trying to do the work of God every time you try to pray for people and so on. So unclean spirits, the way they manifest, listen to me. If a person is blessed by God, it will surely reflect. And people will then come to him and say, or come to her and say, we can see a blessing upon your life. Now we've also come to partake. And when you lay your hands on those people, you're transferring what you already have. It's an area that you have mastered. You can't deliver people from unclean spirits if your own life is not yet clean, even physically. Get me on that one, please. If you're not concerned about what you put on, then you're not concerned about what they put on. Why do you talk about it? Why do you promise them liberty in the area where you are defeated yourself? What do you eat as a man of God? How is it prepared? No matter Ishwa. Are you strict with yourself? Are you delivered from unclean spirits? Let's look at your blankets. Okay, anyway. So this is one sign I told you last time, that if you want to do an investigation, if you're going to be raised by God, some of you, let's say by God, and we are thinking that maybe God has raised you, then I look at your life and then I realize that, you're also enslaved by the same demons that you are fighting. I will approach you and try to help. But not all men of God will listen. Okay. Look at this. So, unclean spirits. If you want to know, like last time I told you that you can start off with God and God is using you. And then, according to Peter, you fall into fleshly temptations. And then he spoke about adultery, fornication. And you begin to divert from the ways of God. In the process of serving God, and you are very prominent. And then all of a sudden, you pay attention to the lust of the flesh, which is the last thing that I'll talk about before I leave. When your flesh is lusting against certain things, and then you go after it every time, demons will then take over. By the time the Spirit of God leaves you, like Saul, a demon will come and continue with the same activities that you were doing. So if you were casting demons on Sunday, and then on Wednesday the Spirit of God leaves you, a demon has to come again and occupy the same space, because there's another service that is coming on Sunday again. And then you continue, but you're not aware now that a demon has taken over your ministry. But how do you know now? Okay. So if we are to look at the African culture, I don't know outside there, but I've seen it happening in most places. If you follow some of the documentaries and some of the researches that they do. I gave you a part of it last time. When a spirit comes upon you, and it's a Sangoma spirit, which we're going to be dealing with now in chapter 8. This man called Simon was a Sangoma. Very soon we'll talk about him. Now, and you want to investigate yourself, you want to find out, am I really a man of God? Am I a woman of God? One thing that is going to shock you, if you want to know whether a spirit has taken over, no matter you're prophesying, if it is now a familiar spirit that has taken over your spirit, after prophesying, you still have to look at your character and say, why am I able to still continue seeing when I'm abusing my wife like this? I'm lying every day. Lying. You lie. And you continue prophesying. You commit adultery, sleeping around, and you continue prophesying. You continue laying your hands on people, and you are seeing things, not deliverance, things happening. And people are reacting and responding to the spirit from inside of you, not deliverance. The devil is just acting it out in order to deceive you.